today is a new rack day, so I've got two of these to build. So basically what we've got is the new LP40 rack with the aluminium shelves, which makes the rack basically twice as lighter, which is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to show you what you should get if you order an LP40 2-row or 2-column. You should get two of those boxes and a parts box, and you will get a side braces. So I'm going to build this and take you step by step, show you what your stages, how to build them. I know I've done a video like this before on the other racks, but this is an LP40, so it's slightly different. So I'll take you over the stages, we'll get them built up, and we'll have a look as we go. So first thing I'd advise is basically get your work area set up, and you do it in stages. So I've got all the parts in the HQ in the first part where you walk in, and then what we'll do, actually we'll build it inside the breeding room. But as you can see in the box, in the parts box, what you'll have your foam pads, you'll have your casters, you'll have your plastic legs, you'll have inside and outside legs because they are different sizes. You'll have your heat mats, and you will probably, depending on what rack you order, will have your braces on the inside. So those will probably be side braces or back braces or vice versa, and then the other ones are separate. Now with your heat mats, because they are European, you will get the European plug. Now you can buy the adapters. I'm not sure if Jesper offers a UK plug. I don't think he does. I think it's all European plugs. So you can either buy the UK adapters on Amazon, or you can buy the European extension lead, which I believe Jesper offers as well. First thing we'll do is we will get the casters set up, and I'll get them built before we do anything else. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to get your parts out. Like I said, you're going to get your casters out. Now sometimes in the box you will find instructions, but as most blokes are, we don't read instructions, so technically we don't need them. And obviously this video I hope will help answer any questions. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to build up your casters. Now there's 6 casters because it is a double column rack or a double row rack. If you've just got a single row, then you will only have 4. So double, you will have 6. Now what you will need for this is a 8mm Allen key, and it's probably better if you have the ball Allen key one. And all I just do them hand tight because of the spring washers. So you'll put the spring washers on like so. Because of the spring washers, it sort of locks it in place. So I only do these hand tight, they don't need to be FT. So without further ado, let's get these built up. So if you're setting up a double row, the first thing you're going to do is set your base. So we've got 4 outer legs and we've got 2 inner legs. Now the 2 inner legs are going to be shorter than the outer because we're going to sort of double up with the levels. So what you do, basically you will overlap the levels like so, and then obviously your wheel will go through, and then you will attach your middle legs. Now like I said, they do have markers, so as you can see this one's got no ring on the inside, whereas the larger ones have the impressed ring. That's not always the case, and what I will say is always check, because I have had people build racks and then phone me or message me with pictures and say their rack isn't level because what they've done, they've put an inside leg on an outside and an outside leg on an inside, which is then, you can imagine there's only about 3mm difference or a couple of mil difference on each leg. By the time you get to the top and they've got it all wrong, the rack is probably out by 1 inch. So if I just line them up, if you have a look there, hopefully you can see that the outer edge, the outer legs are bigger than the inner legs. So always double check your legs. Even if you get one wrong, in the wrong place, it will throw your rack off. So make sure you get it right. Start as you go. Pay attention. Keep your outer legs to the one side and keep your inner legs to the other side as you work. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail, and all that good stuff. So we've got 4 outer legs, 2 inner legs, and we will start and get this base made up. So that's your first base setup. Once you get it to this stage, this is probably the fiddliest stage, if you know what I mean. Once you get it like this, the rest of it is easy, because it's just a case of just putting on your levels. Now what I do recommend is whichever way you start stacking your levels on top of each other, is you continue that way, just because you want it to be right. It doesn't matter really, because you're getting the same thickness all the way, but if you've got OCD like me, you'd want it exactly right. So you interlock them together like so, and all I do is I make it hand tight. I really don't go to town on this, because the great thing about these racks is you can dismantle them, you can add layers, you know, it's such a modular system, it's fantastic. So that's the first thing we'll do, is get it set up like this. The next thing we'll do is we'll put the foam pads down. Now my recommendation is you do the foam pads as you go, so every level you put on, you put a foam pad. It just makes it easier and makes a bit more of a neater job. So we'll get them on now. Like I said, first thing we do, we get these foam pads down, and the way I do it is, you see the cutouts there and there, I just line them up and kind of centralize them like so. Get these put down, and the other thing you can do is just get your heat mat if you really wanted, and just put your heat mat down so you can see how it's going to sit. Now there's multiple ways we'll get on. I'll show you what I do with the heat mat. So how I do my heat mats on a double row, you can either have them that way like so, or you can have them that way. It's entirely up to you. They work just the same, I found anyway. So what I do is I thread through the bottom, there we go, and I get into position like so. So that's basically how I do mine. The cable comes out the bottom for cable management, and then what I do is I will use a piece of silver foil tape just to hold that in place. It's entirely up to you where you put your silver foil tape. You can put it at the front like so, or on the sides. It is entirely up to you, or you can do all the way around, including the back. Again, the choice is yours. Some of my racks I do leave that floating, and I find that works. So if I've got to change a heat mat out for whatever reason, let's say the heat mat goes faulty, I haven't got to struggle and get the silver tape up. So that's what we do, and that's how we set it up, level by level. Okay, let's crack on. Once you've done this, the rest is easy. Let's crack on. So as you can see, we've got the next level on top. However, what I'm going to suggest you do at this stage is you just have 2 tubs, okay, ready to just test as you go. I know it's going to take a bit more time rather than just throwing the rack up. You know, testing each level works by inserting a tub. You don't need all the tubs, just 2. And the reason why I probably recommend this is because as you go, if you find a problem, you can address it before you've built the whole rack, and then to find out you've got to strip it all back down because you've got a problem. You can see that that tub isn't sitting on top of the mat. It's actually floating, which I find is better because you get a better air radiant, you get a bit of an airflow underneath the tub, and the heat radiance a bit different into the tub, so you don't just get a complete hot spot. It sort of thermoregulates a bit better. So having that gap, I think, is better. So the tub, again, checking it slides in nice as you like, perfect, and you can just test and just make sure it's not interfering with the mat. Like I said, you don't have to use heat tape to hold this in place. You can if you want, but you can have it floating because the tubs actually float over the top. at this stage, so as you can see, we're 1, 2, 3, 4 levels up. At this stage, what I'd advise doing is fit the side braces. Now I'm going to show you the side and back braces, should I say. So as you can see, I've already started there, and with this particular rack it goes up, like I said, 4 levels on the side braces. I'm going to do this one and show you in a moment. The back braces, what I tend to do now, the back braces have some of them, or most of the back braces that you'll get will have elongated holes, as you can see. The side braces don't. Now what I will say is, this is probably the fiddliest part of building this rack, is getting these side braces on, or the braces in general. You get these little tiny screws which have got teeth, so they grip behind, and then you get these little 8mm nuts which screw on top. Now when you've built a few of them, it's pretty easy, you sort of get the gist of it, but you have to kind of put your sausage fingers, like mine, you have to sort of, what I do, I hold it like so, I put the brace on, and then I attach the nut like so. Now my advice would be, once you've fitted these, do not tighten them up until you've built the whole rack. Put the side braces on, loosely fit them, and then tighten them up at the end. You will have to manipulate the rack, or you may have to manipulate the rack sometimes to make them fit. If your flooring's uneven as well, it will make the rack go off, so make sure you do it on an even floor, and obviously build it in stages like I'm showing you now. So as you can see, we've got the cross bars on, and as you can see, we've loosely attached them at the top. Now if you look in the middle, you can see that's slightly offset. Now that's not necessarily the engineering, that's basically because the rack needs a little bit of manipulation to get the nut through. Okay, if you move the rack one way, you can line it up, you move it another, you see we can move and we can get that lined up. So it does take a bit of manipulation, but I can assure you that once you've manipulated it, you will get it. And again, the top's not tightened down either, so a bit of manipulation will get that nut and bolt through. So again, manipulating it, as you can see, we're getting it through. So get it through the first one first, and then you'll be able to get it through and manipulate the second one like so. So doing it like this, like I said, it is a bit of a faff, as in, you know, you've got to play with it, but trust me guys, it will go in and you will make it level, and again it will make the whole rack sturdy. So we've currently now got the rack to its full length. Now this is, I ordered a 12 high, but I'm only needing 11 high, so that's 11 tubs, that's 22 tubs there. Like I said, I did order a 12 high, but I'm only going to use the 11. So if you can see now, we put the captive nuts on top, and again all I do is I just finger tighten them down, and that's enough. Now side braces, so obviously we started as we went, we attached the braces. Now what I like to do is I'll then like to build the rest of the rack and then attach from the top down. So basically in the middle you'll probably have 2 or 3 shelves without a support, but that's fine. I want to secure it from the top and the bottom, or brace it from the top and the bottom, as opposed to bracing it, starting the next brace there. Because it's been 11 high, like I said, I'm going to brace it from the top there and move it down. So same story with the back. The back braces are on. I'm going to do the sides first and then work on the back braces. But you can see what we've done. We've basically added the heat mats as we've gone ahead. So it's really simple, really easy. Used some foil tape just to hold it in place, as you can see, just to hold the mats in place. But that's basically what we do. And again, you can see it's slightly leaning, but that's because we've not got the side braces on. So we'll get the side braces on and then we'll have another look at it. So we're going to move on to cable management now. So what I've done, we've tightened up the side braces, as you can see, everything's nice and straight. It pulls the rack nice and straight. Again, you can see I've missed some levels there. That's because I've chose to brace it from the bottom to there and then from the top to there. Now, you could put another brace there, but you don't really need it. It's more so keeping the top and the bottom straight. The back braces, what I've done, again, I've done the same sort of thing. I've gone in a cross hatch fashion from the bottom, as you can see. I've then gone on the next level and then the next level like so. So that works. That's worked out pretty well. And what you can do, I've bolted it there. You can bolt it there, and you can see the back braces do come with slightly elongated holes, so you can bolt it to the level if you want. But I'm going to use that for cable management. Now, cable management. These are the plug adapters. You can order them off Amazon. They do come fused already. I believe they are a 3 amp fuse. Yeah, I think they're a 3 amp or a 5 amp fuse. These are 30 watt mats, and literally all you do is plug that into there. And here's one I plugged in earlier. Just plugs in, converts it. Away you go. So easy to do. You don't need to cut off any cable or any of that nonsense. So literally all you're doing is plugging it into the bottom there. It's perfectly safe. Like I said, these are 30 watts. These will obviously not be 30 watts all the time, because once they're up to temperature, it'll reduce it using your pulse stat. Now, the ones I use are the Habistat Classic pulse stats, and these are a maximum of 600 watts. Now, how many stats should you have, I hear you say? So this is a 11 mats. This has 11 mats at 30 watts a mat. So that will give me a grand total of 330 watts. So this stat that can take a maximum of 600 watts is more than capable to power that whole rack and then some. So these analog stats are perfect for your racks. I feel they are better than the digital stats. The digital stats tend to be better on incubators than on rack systems. I do like to try and give each level a thermostat, but you don't need to. That's just overkill for me. All I'm going to do is probably have 2 stats running this rack, one for the first 4 or 5 levels and then another one for the top level. Like I said, I've got 2 of these to build. At the moment I've only got 2 stats, so I'm going to set it up a stat per rack, and then once the other stats turn up, I'll add them on at a later date. So cable management. Let's look at cable management. You can get these little things off Amazon or eBay, and these work perfect. And you bolt them in there, and you can run your heat mat cable through there. You can do it there if you want and turn it around. If you don't want to use cable ties, you can get these cool little things, but cable ties will work just as well. Getting your cable management sorted now is probably the best way for it. So yeah, we'll get this all linked in, and then we'll check back in and we'll have a look at the cable management. So let's have a look at these levels. So these are the new aluminium levels from LP. These are exactly the same as the steel ones, but literally twice as light. Now again, this is aluminium, so it is a softer metal, so if you do drop this, guys, it will bend, but boy does it make a difference. Like, to the weight, it's just phenomenal. The finish is still there, it's still the same, it's powder coated. You can see you will have little marks there from where the actual when they're powder coated in the factory, they're hung, so it's powder coated in a even distribution. This is the underside, so this is the side that your tubs will slide into. Again, you've got your channels. I'm trying to be really unbiased with this, guys, because yes, I am the UK distributor, but I'm the UK distributor for a reason, because I really do rate the product. There are other rack companies out there which are fantastic guys, fantastic products, but I don't think there's anything out on the market which is like LP. LP have been going for years. So many big breeders in the UK and Europe use LP racking systems, and believe it or not, I do believe they are possibly going to be end up in the US. But again, aluminium frame, aluminium tops, hole punched LP there, love it. And they do have a strengthening, they are folded for extra strength there and there. So the new levels, I think, are fantastic. They look great. It's exactly the same. I mean, I've got the metal ones here. They stand the test of time with the Freedom Breeder tubs. Before LP were doing their tubs, you could only really get the grey tubs with, which was Freedom Breeder tubs, and the LP rack, so kind of a hybrid system if you like. But then LP brought out their own range of tubs, which I'm not going to lie, I love the finish. They are consistently the same. Freedom Breeder are probably a little bit more sturdier. With a twisting effect and stuff, but you've still got the same sort of movement, if you like, in the tub. A little bit less maybe, but the finish, I find the finish, because it's got that gloss finish as opposed to like a satin or a matte finish, it's so much easier to clean. It is so much easier to clean, these tubs are. I've been using the LP10s, the LP5s, the LP18s, the LP35 tubs, the new ones with the gloss finish, and it is so much easier to clean, I'm not going to lie. And obviously the easier they are to clean, the longer they'll last. Built-in water bowls if you want them. If you don't want them, you can have them without. They come in grey or they come in clear. Me personally, I prefer the grey because it just it just gives the animals more security, I find. It's a modular design, you know, so if I only wanted 5 levels, I could have 5 levels. If I wanted 10 levels, I could have 10 levels, and then I could add as I go. If my circumstances changed, where I changed from the facility I'm in now to a different one, and I wanted to have them halved and just have them next to each other, we can get the casters and just put some casters on the bottom, and then you've got yourself 2 racks, and then again you can build on, and so on and so forth. So for me, LP's constantly trying to improve. They've also powder coated now the side bars, which is fantastic. The back bars, the back braces now come with they're elongated, as you can see. So yeah, I really like the LP system. There's plenty of racks out there, guys, that are fantastic, that you can use and utilize, but there's not a rack system out there which utilizes space like LP, and that's a fact. Every rack has pros and cons, and some people like them, some people don't. It's entirely up to you, it's your taste. If you really wanted, you know, you could probably powder coat these your own color if you really wanted. I know a few people in the US have powder coated their Freedom Breeder racks. The good things about these is because they are powder coated tops and plastic dividers or plastic legs, is you get no conductive electricity running through the metal. So obviously when you got your heat mats, I'm not an electrician again, but I'm going to try and explain it in layman's terms, is when you got heat mats, it will create conductive electricity. So if you've got bare metal racks and you touch them, and occasionally you'll get a shock That's because that's coming from the heat mats or the cables at the back of the rack. The fact that the LP rack is covered in either powder coated or it's plastic, and again there's no bare metal underneath, means you or your animals are not going to get a static electric shock, which for those of you who have had the old-fashioned racks or bare metal racks, when you touch them you can get that conductive little shock. It certainly wakes you up in the morning, that's for sure. There is a way around that. You can ground out the racks with a grounding wire, but again the reason's all there, very simple. They do look professional. In my opinion, there are, like I said, other racks out there which you may like. You know, wild racks, herp exotic racks, JVK racks, alu racks are just some in the UK and Europe, just to name a few. But for me, I'm an LP guy through and through. Genuinely rate this product. Guys, if you have any questions, if you do want to price up an LP rack, if you have any old racks like that use vision tubs and they're clear and you want to swap them out to the LP tubs, again, let us know. We can help you with that. Again, the email address is in the link, is in the description box below. Email us with what you're looking at if you're in the UK, and we can help you get them in. Unfortunately, we have to pay VAT, import tax, and all the same stuff that you would do. That doesn't show it on the website because LP's website is not set up for importing into the UK. But unfortunately, we've got to pay the duty, we've got to pay the VAT, all that stuff we don't want to pay. But please hit us up and we'll try and help you. Where we save you money is basically on bulk ordering. So we bulk order every month, which saves you on shipping costs because we order everything all at once. You'll probably save about £300 ordering through us. So yeah. But guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope this helps. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Any questions, please put them down in the comment box below. If not, take care. Oh, before I go, guys, let's do a bit of house cleaning. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video. Smash that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos that I upload in the future. But for now, take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one.